Testing, testing. Not nearly high enough. Testing, testing. What if I... Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. A... Testing. Uh, testing, testing. Eh, what? Testing. Testing, testing. Not that. Testing, test. Oh, that's a little bit better. Hey, up there. Okay. Testing. Hey, let's try this out then. Hey, all right. Hey. Hey, that should be good. All right. We are back with another surviving in another world as a villainous fox girl. Cute series. Very wholesome. Not very in depth or requires you to do a lot of thinking like most of my other stuff does. We're not reading something like Reverse 1999, the novel here. This is mostly just enjoying characters being friends with each other. But it's really cute. I like Fox Girls. I want this novel to get seen by more people, so we're reading it. And getting people to see more of this stuff is one of the aims of this channel. Let's go. Let's go. Chapter 1. Trouble appears along with a new friend. Several days have passed since our party celebrated Lana Killer's promotion to high-ranking guild. I mean, everyone here was so much fun. It seems like it happened only yesterday. Miku, it's time. Miku, it's time. Oh, sorry, Macro. Just give me a second to finish hanging these towels. Now that I've gotten used to my life here, it seems like I've almost been here my entire life. The way time seems to move faster or slower, depending on the situation, is quite odd, isn't it? After quickly hanging up the rest of the towels to dry, I rush over to the entrance of the guild, where Macro is patiently waiting. Two of us set out through the sun-dappled streets of the city for work. To tell you the truth, recently I've been using my light magic to take on cleaning jobs around town. Folks who can use light magic are few and far between, and those who can don't tend to use it in quite the way I do. Purification is primarily used for cleansing souls, curing poison, or lifting spells, not eliminating dirt. I've always taken my skills for granted, so I never saw them as anything special. These cleanup jobs are pretty tough. Even with the help of water spells, it's often impossible to make things spotless, especially when your only tools are your hands, which is partly why rumors of magical cleaning abilities have seemingly spread like wildfire. Honestly, I've become a little overwhelmed with the amount of work being thrown my way. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm also pretty happy about it. After all, I feel like I'm actually being helpful for once. My technique is technically a one person job since my magic is powerful enough that I don't really need any help, but I'm not allowed to go anywhere by myself. Why, you might be wondering? Well, oh Miku, I accidentally burned the bottom of the pot. The actual pot? That's gonna leave a mark. Do you need me to take care of that for you? Is what I was going to say before Macro stepped in front of me, cutting me off. Oops, that's right. I can't. She can't right now. We already have another job to do. Well, in that case, before you leave, could you just take a look at this? See, this should only take a second, right? The reason she can take care of it so easily is because of the time and effort she's poured into honing her abilities, and all of that requires suitable compensation. Even if it only takes a second, work is work. Send a formal request, and we'll be happy to help. Okay, will do. I've been warned to stop doing favors for people no matter how simple it may seem. As someone who grew up in a small village, it's hard not to agree to help someone. It's a pretty bad habit, and it's caused a lot of problems. The main problem is that, as a member of a high ranking guild like ours, it's a bad look to be doing so many favors for folks around town. Which is why, at least for the time being, Hector decided that I'm not allowed to go anywhere by myself. I feel like I'm such a burden on everyone. I'm sorry, Macro. I'm still not used to turning folks down. That's pretty obvious. Ouch. Macro could stand to learn a thing or two about being a little too blunt. But he's right. There's no denying I'm the one who's at fault here. I should be able to say no when I need to. It's kind of depressing that I can't. If everyone could grasp new things quickly, the world would be a much better place, right? Of course it would be. But no one is perfect. Everyone has their weaknesses. There's no point letting it get to you. Yeah, you're right. Macro's always right. Wasn't it Hector who once told me folks tend to misunderstand Macro since he's so straightforward about everything? Not like they can argue with him since he always tends to be correct, which leads to folks disliking him. Players see his honesty comes off as pessimism, and I kind of get it. But also, the way he talks can be really harsh, and it makes him seem like he doesn't consider the feelings of whoever he's talking to. I'm pretty sure he meant what he said in an encouraging way. That he saw I was feeling down, so that was his attempt at cheering me up. You're really nice, Macro. Quiet. Which is why I want to make sure he knows I'm grateful. I still find it impossible to set boundaries even when I know I should. It tears me apart just thinking about turning people down, but at least I can thank him for looking out for me. Macro helped me out today, and I want him to know I'm grateful. What exactly was nice about what I said? But Macro just seems completely confused, his expression puzzled. Did I say something weird? I appreciate the words of encouragement, telling me I shouldn't worry about not being perfect, and that it's okay to learn at my own. I appreciate the words of encouragement, telling me I shouldn't worry about not being perfect, and that it's okay to learn at my own pace. Did I misunderstand you? Macro seems to be at a loss for words for some reason. I guess I did misunderstand him. I only heard what I wanted to. I'm kind of embarrassed, but oh well. That's the way I took it. You're such a weirdo. Huh? I'm weird. I'm sorry. He seems exasperated, or at least that's the feeling I get from the puzzled look he shoots my way. Did I misunderstand something else? What are you apologizing for? Quit it. Uh-huh. But what? Because talking to you sometimes makes me want to rip my hair out. Macro seems even more bewildered than before. Huh? Why? What should I do? I have no idea what he's trying to say anymore. Ugh, I'm sorry. Why are you still apologizing? I told you to stop that. I find myself instinctively apologizing despite Macro's orders. The bar here seems way too high. Feeling like I'm only digging myself deeper into a hole with each word that comes out of my mouth, I decide to keep my mouth shut for the time being while Macro averts his gaze. Huh? Are his ears slightly red, or am I seeing things? You didn't do anything wrong. I'm just not used to talking to folks talking to me like that. Yeah, wait up! Without another word, he suddenly picks up his pace, quickly leaving me behind. Is he embarrassed? I don't think I said anything that would embarrass him, though. He's still so hard for me to read. At least he doesn't hate me. Without any weird vibes lingering between us, I'm quickly able to get my work done as quickly and efficiently as always. With magic at my fingertips, I finish up in seemingly no time at all, which is how I'm usually able to fit in 2 or even 3 jobs before noon. I love being this busy. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for coming with me, Macro. We're not home yet, so don't get too relaxed. You tend to be more of a pushover after finishing your work for the day. Of course. As we head back to the Lana Killer Guild following my last job, Macro gives me an earful as I lazily stretch my arms over my head. He sounds like my mom! You really have been doing a good job lately. The fact that you can make this much money without needing to fight is impressive. Huh? His unexpected compliment makes me stop in my tracks. What? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard Macro offer up a good word about anyone, let alone so directly. To be fair, he's not a big talker even on his best days. What? Oh, it's just I'm not used to hearing any kind of compliment from you. Oh, that was going the other way. What? Oh, it's just I'm not used to hearing any kind of compliment from you. He probably thought I stopped walking because I noticed something suspicious. I find myself stammering out the truth in response to his question. Could I really not think of a better answer than that? He doesn't seem offended, though. Instead, he cocks his head to his side, as if in thought. I didn't mean it as a compliment. I just said what I was thinking. Oh, I see. He didn't realize he said something nice. Well, it made me happy regardless. So thank you, Macro. For better or worse, Macro doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to his feelings. I think that's why it's so easy to misunderstand what he's trying to say. The more time we spend together, the better I get at deciphering his words. He's not a bad guy. He's actually really kind. Though he does tend to get pretty grouchy when Rinny's around. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. It made you happy? Do you like getting compliments? Huh? I just meant getting praised feels much better than getting scolded for being annoying. Doesn't everyone feel that way? It makes me feel like he's recognizing the hard work I've done, which is exactly what I say, causing Macro to once again look at me with a puzzled expression as if processing what I'm trying to tell him. Wonder what's wrong. As we continue walking together, he suddenly says the last thing I was expecting to hear. You're cute, Miku. What? I can feel all the fur on my body stand on end, my tail sticking straight up. Huh? Did he just call me cute? I can feel all the heat in my body rush to my cheeks. I look over at Macro, my mouth hanging open. There's a faint blush on his cheeks as he quietly murmurs, Now that was intended as a compliment. Your over-the-top reactions are making me self-conscious about that decision, though. With that, he picks up his pace so he can create distance between us. I see. So he meant it as a compliment after all. Seems like he has no idea why what he said caused me to blush, and I feel kind of bad. Any girl would get embarrassed if a guy suddenly called her cute out of nowhere. Hey, eep! As I hurry to catch up so I can thank him properly, a wall suddenly materializes in my way, and I jump back in surprise, or at least I'm about to, but there appears to be a wall behind me as well. What's going on? Frazzled, I look up not only to realize it's not a wall, but a very large man. Are you Lana Killer's cleaner? Well, aren't you the cutest little thing? The man grabs my shoulders from behind, looking down at me as he speaks. I have a pretty bad feeling about this. Those eyes don't seem especially friendly. What are you doing? Get away from Miku. I'm relieved to hear Macro's voice amidst the chaos, though the feeling is short lived as I suddenly find myself floating. I can't help but cry out from a sensation of pressure against my stomach. It takes me a moment before I realize the guy behind me picked me up and is running away with me under his arm. What? Am I being kidnapped? This can't be happening. And in broad daylight, no less. Whose idea was it to just have this shrimp as a bodyguard? Let's see what you've got, tough guy. There's another guy blocking Macro's path near the building we just left. He stands in the middle of the path, swaying from side to side. Suddenly, 3 more of his friends appear out of nowhere, quickly surrounding Macro. Hey! This was a setup. 1 against 3 is playing dirty. This is bad. I begin squirming frantically in an attempt to escape from the big guy's grasp, but his muscles are like immovable rocks. He's just as strong as he is big. There's no use fighting, little lady, but I'm pretty exhausted, so if you keep fussing, I'll have to hurt you, and we wouldn't want that, right? I hear a low growl, and then a barely audible hissing noise. My body stiffens, and I can't move a muscle. I'm so scared. The next thing I know, somewhere far away from town, Macro's nowhere in sight. We're somewhere far away from town, Macro's nowhere in sight, and there's nothing I can do. I am completely powerless. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do in a situation like this, which is why I have to think. I might not be able to do anything right now, but my chance to escape will show itself at some point. Isn't that what Claire always said when we were out fighting monsters? Having no offensive skills meant making up for it by focusing extra hard on boosting my ability to escape from any situation. I've been training for this moment all my life. All I need to do is wait for the right moment, then slip away. I got this. I just gotta try and calm down. With that said, where are we even going? I'm starting to feel sick from all this running around. Everything is spinning. Not sure how far we end up going, but suddenly he dumps me unceremoniously on the ground. The impact alone temporarily knocks the wind out of me, and I find myself gasping for air as the world goes dark and I lose consciousness. Where am I? I got to sit up in the dimly lit environment and realize something's wrong. Can't move my arms or legs. With my hands tied behind my back, I'm having trouble sitting up. Oh gosh. Oh no. How did I get here? I rack my brain and almost immediately remember everything. That's right. I got kidnapped on my way home from work. I wonder if Macro's okay. Last time I saw him, he was surrounded by a group of mean-looking thugs. No, wait. I have to worry about myself right now. Macro can take care of himself. I don't have the luxury of worrying about other people right now. Macro was here. I'm sure he would tell me to put myself first for once. Okay, I'm absolutely going to make a break for it the first chance I get. Having made up my mind, I struggle to sit up. Someone there? Assuming I was all by myself, the unexpected voice startled me. I'm pretty sure that's a girl's voice. She sounded pretty scared. As I struggle to find the owner of the voice, I make out the vague outline of a small figure crouched in the corner, though it's too dark to see more than that. Seems the voice came from the shadow. There doesn't seem to be any other shapes around, at least. Excuse me? Who are you? My name is Miku. I try to sound friendly so as not to frighten her any more than she already is. I decide not to bring up the topic of kidnapping for the time being. I'm so glad you're not a bad guy. I was out for a walk when suddenly I passed out. When I came to, I was in here. I feel bad for saying this, but I'm glad I'm not alone. She sounds far more cheerful than she did a moment ago. From the rhythmic vibrations, I have a feeling we're in the back of some kind of carriage, though I'm worried about exactly where they're taking us. To be fair, I was already worried to begin with. It's okay, and I feel the same way. I'm glad I'm not alone. Haha, guess that makes us friends now. What are we going to do? If we do something, I have a feeling we're not going to be in big trouble. Any ideas? She's clearly forcing herself to sound cheerful. I'm sure she's so scared that she's on the verge of tears. I feel the same way. But if we start bawling and making a fuss, the bad guys will notice for sure. I think my presence helps give her the strength to stay calm as well. She's such a sweet, strong girl. I can't keep counting on others to clean up on my messes. I am a member of a high-ranking guild after all. Okay, get it together. I have to make her feel safe. The constant shaking makes things feel difficult, but I'm able to make my way over to where the other girl is. Then, after taking a deep breath, I force myself to speak in the calmest voice I can muster. I can fly, and I'm strong enough to carry anyone else for a short distance as well. Really? That's amazing. Oh, that would actually pair well with my magic. She then goes on to explain how she's great at using wind spells. What a perfect coincidence. With our magic combined, we might actually be able to make a break for it. Just have to wait for an opening. Oh, and we need to figure out a way to untie these ropes. The hope that we might actually make it out of here gives us a burst of courage. Having calmed down considerably, I suddenly remember something. The all-purpose pocket knife I have for situations just like this one. But I can't reach it in this position. I have a knife in my pocket just under my jacket. I don't think they took it from me. Think you can reach it? Do? Give it a shot, but also, sorry in advance. Almost immediately after she says that, she twists her body around while leaning backwards, using her bound hands to search under my jacket. It's kind of ticklish, but I can't laugh. I have to be quiet. A moment later, I hear a silent cry of, I found it, before her hands pull back. Pooh! Miku, was it? Lean this way. I'll cut the rope for you. I'll try my best not to cut you as well, but if I do, I'm sorry. It's okay. I know how to use healing magic, so if you nick me, it's no big deal. Can heal? You really are amazing, Miku. Slicing through the rope is far more difficult than I imagined. Between the two of us being worried about not hurting the other and the constant rocking of the carriage, it ends up taking quite a while. But we whisper words of encouragement back and forth the whole time, and before I know it, I manage to slip my hands free without getting hurt. Thank you. It'll be much easier this time. Let's get you free. Taking the knife back, I easily slice through the rope binding her hands and feet. Finally free, two of us look at each other, giggling quietly. Can't believe you carry a knife on you. You're no ordinary girl. I'd say the same thing about you. Anyone else would be panicking right now, but you're as calm as a cucumber. Once I regain my bearings, I give a simple introduction that I'm a member of a high-ranking guild, and then unfortunately, she can't count on me to fight since I only know defensive spells. Hearing that, the girl shakes my apology off. With her eyes sparkling so brightly that I can see them even in the dark, she grabs my hand with both of hers. It's amazing you're in a high-ranking guild. I actually come from a small village in the countryside. I moved here to find work in the big city. Something like this has to happen. Just my luck, I thought to myself, but I guess I really am lucky, huh? Lucky? What does she mean by that? As I look at her puzzled, she gives me the biggest smile have ever seen. I haven't told you my name yet. I'm Laura. Maybe if we get out of here in one piece, you can introduce me to your guild. I heard high-ranking guilds rake in the most money. As she looks me straight in her eyes, her determination for her bright future shining unwaveringly bright, she squeezes both my hands with hers before shaking them firmly up and down. This girl sure is positive. Let's find a way out of here first. I tell Laura to try and calm her down. I can't promise I'll be able to get her into the guild. Introducing her to the others shouldn't be a problem, which seems to make her happy enough since she thanks me joyfully in response. If we're going to make a break for it, we should go while we're en route. I know it's more dangerous that way, but once we stop, the bad guys will shift their attention to us. Wait, Laura. We should scout things out before we do anything. If a guy is going to snatch a girl up off the street, they probably aren't alone. Whoever's driving us probably has some friends with him. Laura, who seems in high spirits due to the promise I made her, quickly throws open the carriage canopy and looks like she's about to jump out. I rush over to stop her, which turns out to be the right move. Glancing outside, I realize we're surrounded by several guys on horseback. Whew, that was close. Hee hee, sorry. There's a lot of them, huh? This carriage seems way too big for just the two of us, though. Maybe they're planning on kidnapping more people. While apologizing for her hastiness, Laura quickly rationalizes the situation. That's a good point. It would be weird to use such a big carriage for two small girls. These guys must be frequent kidnappers, and from a big organization by the looks of it. Actually, I remember Hector and the guys talking about a big case they were working on. I know it is involved a all I know it involved a big organization. Could this be the group in question? If that's true, then I can't let these guys keep running amok and kidnapping people. But with Laura here, my first priority should be escaping. Still, if we don't do something, more people will be kidnapped. Ugh, what do I do? Escaping for now is probably our best bet, and then we can sound the alarm once we're free. We can't do anything else if we can't get out of here first. If we jump out of here with enough force, we should be able to fly out of here. Laura, can you use your wind magic to give us a boost? They definitely won't be able to stop us if we suddenly fly away. Let's do it. Leave the boosting to me. I stand behind Laura and wrap my arms around her upper body just under her armpits. This is the only way I can get a firm grip. I really need to work out more. Okay, here we go. As I give the signal, I spread my wings of light like always. As soon as we're outside, Laura kicks the carriage and she propels us forward, and she uses her wind magic to boost us even further upward. Yes, perfect timing. In the blink of an eye, the carriage we'd seen moments before looks like a toy. Seeing the bandits in an uproar at our unexpected escape, I finally heave a huge sigh of relief. Aww! Ow, this is so cool. We're actually flying. Ack, don't fly around like that. I'm not very strong and my grip is already slipping. Eep, sorry. Oh, I see lights coming from over there. Miku, is that your town? Laura, who immediately calms down, points to a glow that is coming from a short distance ahead of us. Though I can't make it out very clearly, I definitely recognize the sight of that all too familiar gate. Maybe someone will notice us from here. After all, Macro knows I was kidnapped, and Claire will definitely be out looking for me, considering it's after dark and I'm not home yet. Laura, close your eyes. I'm going to flash a really bright light. Oh, sure. I pray that someone notices us as I force a surge of magic power into my wings, causing them to shine brightly. The light should be able to travel a fairly significant distance in the dark. And then I make the light blink off and on. Back in the village, this was the signal I used to communicate with Claire. She'll notice it for sure. I can't hold on. I'm going to rest on that tree over there. Using my magic spell for the signal left me exhausted. We're still pretty high up, so I land on a sturdy tree's thick branch to ensure Laura doesn't fall. My light show from earlier might have temporarily blinded the kidnappers. Maybe I was able to buy us some time. You're really something, Miku. You look like a fox, but you can fly. Huh? Oh, right. I am a rare breed even within my own village. They call us winged foxes, but we're so rare that you've probably never heard of it, huh? I ask while sitting there, leaning back against the trunk of the tree opposite Laura, who is sitting astride the branch. Nope. She agrees that she's never heard of my breed before smiling happily. I figured as much. but you were able to help us thanks to your wings. I appreciate it. It's kind of embarrassing to have her thank me so earnestly with such a genuine smile. She looks at me puzzled, causing her silky black hair, which flows just past her shoulders, to flutter in the wind, making it look even prettier. She has it tied back in a half ponytail, and coupled with her smile, she looks very mature. I've been viewing her as an innocent girl until now, but she seems much older in this light. She's so mysterious. As I gaze at her, enchanted, I feel my heart skip a beat when I notice the corners of her lips curl up when she smiles. What's wrong with me? It's a pretty seductive gesture. I can't believe I'm getting this flustered just from looking at another girl. Is it kind of a secret that you're a rare breed of fox? I find myself at a loss for words upon hearing her quiet question. Claire always told me that I should never talk about who I really am, but I feel comfortable and safe around Laura, that I let it slip without meaning to. Well, actually, as I sit there stammering, Laura giggles and scooches closer to me. Too close. She's even cuter from this angle. Her eyelashes are so long and her skin is so smooth. There's no need to be worried. It's okay. I understand. I know it can be hard when you're a rare race. I reach out and pat her cheek. She lets out an involuntary squeal of surprise at my sudden action. There we go. Her reaction makes her look much more like the innocent young girl I pictured back in the carriage. Tell you the truth, I'm also kind of a rare breed. And since you spilled your secret, it's only fair for me to spill mine, she says with a laugh. I've never met someone with a vibe as weird as hers. She constantly flits from acting childlike to mature. It's hard for me to catch up. I'm a type of sound butterfly. Have you heard of us? No? Never? She laughs at my honest answer, proclaiming that we're even. Yeah, I guess we are. In short, we're a rare breed of demi-human butterflies who can wield sound magic. The world really is full of all types of demi-humans, huh? Wait a minute. Did she say she was a butterfly? Oh, you noticed? You're wondering why I can't fly then, right? Exactly. Butterflies fly. It's literally in the name. But from what I can tell, Laura can't. Or at least she gave the impression that she'd never flown before when we were airborne. Despite being a butterfly, I can't actually fly. It's not a me problem, but more that sound butterflies can't fly at all. There are other types of butterflies that can't fly, but I know how weird it sounds. I see. She sounds cheerful enough, but I still detect a hint of sadness behind her words. I guess it bothers her, at least a little. A fox that can but fly and a butterfly that can't. It's kind of funny, huh? She giggles, clearly amused, but I can't bring myself to join in. As if sensing my discomfort, she quickly quiets down, her eyebrows furrowed in concern. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed. You really don't have to worry about me, okay? I might not be able to fly, but I have the power of sound and wind. I always make it up. I always end up making things awkward. Laura says sadly, burying her head in her hands. Oh gosh. Oh no. I can tell that this is something that bothers her a lot, but she quickly puts on a cheerful smile so that others don't worry about her, which only ends up making them even more concerned. Sound is a special subclass of magic, right? That's amazing, Laura. I'm impressed you can use a type of magic that not many others can. Miku. Everyone has stuff that they're self-conscious about. You can't help how you feel, and it's impossible to stop worrying about it. I was born with the curse of light magic, and I'm constantly agonized over people able to wield more than one type of magic unlike most other people. So in other words, I understand at least a little how she feels. As demi-humans, no, as people, there is stuff we can do and stuff we can't. Stuff we're suited for and stuff we're not. But regardless, that doesn't change what an amazing girl you are, Laura. Macro said the same thing to me. We have to do what we can and rely on others for what we can't. I mean, it's not like we can survive on our own, right? That's why we make friends, so we can help each other out. I'm sure it's strange to think this way after only having just met, but I want Laura to be my friend more than anything. I hope we can be. You're an amazing girl, too. I feel so much better. Thanks, Miku. Ooh, she's smiling again. Good. That innocent smile of hers suits her perfectly. Though the more mature Lara was charming in her own way. As the two of us giggle together, I suddenly hear a commotion coming from the base of the tree. I immediately freeze, holding my breath, wondering if the kidnappers found us. Huh? Hang on a minute. That voice sounds awfully familiar. Miku! Hey, you guys over there! Where did you take Miku? Claire! That's definitely Claire's voice, though she sounds slightly panicked. She must have come running as soon as she saw my signal. Thank goodness. She didn't have to come running that fast, though. All I want is to rush down to her, but I should probably wait. If I go down now, I'll get burned by a blast of foxfire. There you are. Eek. I'd been so focused on Claire below us that the sudden voice next to my ear causes me to jump in surprise. I almost fell out of the tree. Pinwheeling my arms wildly for balance, the owner of the voice reaches out and steadies me. Macro, you're okay? What? I turn to see Macro, who'd been by my side for most of the day. I'm relieved to see that he's safe, especially since the last time I saw him, he'd been surrounded by bandits. With that said, I wasn't expecting him to suddenly hug me like that. What is going on? Is this really Macro? What's wrong? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Miku. I was right there and I couldn't protect you. Oh, I get it now. Macro was with me all day as my bodyguard. I'm sure he must feel guilty that I was abducted right in front of him. It's not his fault, though. I'm sure he feels awful about it just because he felt responsible for me and my safety. I feel really bad. Don't worry. It's my fault for not being more aware of my surroundings. I'm really sorry, Macro. This time, it was actually all my fault. Don't say that it's my fault. We go back and forth several times, each of us trying to take the blame for what happened while attempting to calm the other one down. Sorry to interrupt, but can you two finish this riveting conversation after we get down? I mean, all's well that ends well, right? Laura pipes up slightly awkwardly. Oh, right. I completely forgot about her. She saw Macro hug me a moment ago. Oh gosh, it's not what you think. It's not like that. We hurriedly jump back from each other, Macro seemingly as uncomfortable as me. Once I regain my composure, I wrap my arms around Laura again and spread my wings of light before gliding to the ground from the top of the tree. Laura gently alights, and I immediately leap straight into Claire's outstretched arms. I was so scared, she cries out on the verge of tears as I gently rub her back. I'm sorry, Claire, I didn't mean to worry you, but thank you for rescuing me. I repeat those words over and over. I wanted to be the first person to hug you, stupid Macro. You saw that? I kind of wish she hadn't brought that up. It's making me embarrassed all over again. I also want to make sure Miku is okay, Claire. Hector comes running up from behind Claire. Rini and Angela are right behind him. So everyone came to get me. They must have been so worried. Don't even think about hugging her, Hector. But Macro can. I won't forget this, Macro. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh gosh, stop bringing up the hug incident already. It's only making me more self-conscious. At any rate, I should probably thank everyone. I turn around to face my friends before bowing deeply. I'm so sorry. This only happened because I'm not being careful enough. I'm sorry for such a burden all the time. I know that they all have things they should be doing instead of running around looking for me, and I hate that I inconvenienced everyone. I want to try and be more helpful moving forward. I still have a lot to learn, though. What are you babbling about, Miku? The only people who did anything wrong are the ones who kidnapped you. You're the victim here, and you did nothing to deserve it. Angela's right. You did absolutely nothing wrong, Miku. Plus, those guys are part of the criminal organization we've been tracking down this whole time. If anyone's to blame, it's us for not catching them before something like this happened. Which is why I'm so sorry, Miku. So they really are members of the organization they've been tracking down recently. My hunch was correct then. I've never thought for 1 second I'd end up directly getting involved, though. Angela, Hector, thank you. But by Angela's logic, it's not your fault either, Hector. Okay? So please don't apologize. I guess you're right. This is quickly turning into an apology battle. Just as the thought crosses my mind, Rinny's cheerful voice rings out, instantly lightening the mood. By that reasoning, we really have Miku to thank for leading to their capture, right? You not getting kidnapped would have been preferable, but we caught them in the end. Thank you, Miku. Rini, you're the best. He keeps us from getting too gloomy. It's all thanks to Rinny's upbeat personality. Plus, everyone's smiling now. I'm so grateful that everyone in the guild are good people. As the tension drains from my shoulders, one of the thugs suddenly cries out, and I turned around in surprise. I see Macro kicking one of the kidnappers, who's tied up and lying on the ground. Well, what's going on? I really don't know anything. I know you're lying. One of you has to be in charge. Ow, that hurts, I swear. I told you, I don't know. Apparently, they're questioning him about something, and Macro's not holding back. I know it's necessary in this situation, but it's still kind of scary. It's almost like Macro's a different person from a moment ago. Forget about that. What we need now is information. Who's the guy pulling the strings? As I watch, Claire leans closer and whispers softly in my ear, filling me in. After I was captured, Macro felt frozen in place as a kid trapped by some kind of spell. He couldn't even move a single finger. It was bizarre. Huh? That really happened. How scary. It's not that simple for a strong man like Macro to become completely immobilized, which is why there has to be an incredibly powerful member within the organization. Yet all we ever seem to talk to are fall guys. There's been no one who fits the bill or even comes close to it. Can't believe that someone like that exists, and it's terrifying to think that they can manipulate people like that. If there's no one like that among the captured members, then maybe he escaped. Does that mean he's still on the loose somewhere? Which also means this isn't over just yet. For now, I'm just glad you're safe, Miku. Was there anyone else with you? All right, I call Laura over, who's been waiting patiently a few steps away. I did promise I'd introduce her. Let me introduce you to Laura. She helped me escape from the bad guys. Laura, this is my twin sister, Claire. She's also in the same guild as me. What? Claire cries out in surprise as I finish up my introduction. Curious, I turn to face Claire. Laura opens her mouth at the same time, her cheeks bright red. Hi, my name's Laura. I know this is sudden, and I apologize. Wait, why is Claire frozen in place? Huh? What's wrong? But can I join your guild? In the midst of the confusion, Laura speaks clearly with a carefree smile on her face. She really doesn't waste any time. She looks more innocent and Oh, Kinex Fury. Hey, I'm back. Hi there, Onyx Fury. Welcome in. Yeah, we are doing a reading stream. Reading a book called Surviving in Another World as a Villainous Fox Girl. We are just starting the second book, so you'll have to go and watch my previous streams if you're interested on YouTube. But it's a really cute book. Don't expect a lot of action, though the beginning of this was kind of action packed. But it's more about friends and light romance and kind of otome isekai stuff. And it's really cute, and I like fox girls, so that's more than enough reason for me. Uh, Outside of my reading streams, I play a lot of gacha like MiHoYo, Reverse 1999. I also do some indie and retro game streams, so we'll probably do something like that tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I was just getting some tea because, boy, do I need something to drink a little bit, sip on as I'm reading these chapters. And yeah, awesome. And we'll get into it. Maybe a little, but it's okay. I'm not sure what's going on, but I have a feeling we'll all head back to the guild hall before making any decisions. You have a guild hall? Are there any beds? Laura's overenthusiastic question catches me off guard, and as I tell her that yes, we have beds, I wonder how long it's been since she slept in one. Laura beams happily in response. She must have been kidnapped by those guys long before me. I'm sure she'll enjoy a good night's sleep finally. Shortly after, Claire brings Hector over. With a smile, Laura tells everything she said to Claire a moment ago. Her positive attitude is impressive. Though, for reasons I still don't understand, Hector has the same reaction as Claire. Maybe she really is coming on too strong. Well, I'm really curious about what exactly is going on. Before I can get any answers, we decide to head home since we've all had a long day. I knew Hector wouldn't leave her behind, but hearing him say so is still a relief. Whew! Thanks, Miku. Huh? Oh, that was honestly the least I could do. Feeling so relieved, I suddenly jerk in surprise when Laura leans in, whispering in my ear. For a moment, she looks like the mysteriously charming, more mysterious, more mature version of herself I glimpsed earlier. It really is a little bizarre how she can look so different from one moment to the next. That doesn't make her any less sweet, though. I'm going to stay here and make sure the guards get this mess under control. I'm used to this sort of thing, so don't worry about me. You should head back with everyone else. If you're staying, then so will I. You'll get bored all by yourself. Of course, Rennie volunteered to help kill time. Figures. Though, I'd prefer someone I can actually talk with. What's that supposed to mean? You've got a problem with my conversation skills? It sounds like Angela and Rennie are going to stick around here for now. They're poking each other, but smiling at the same time, so it's clear they're just teasing. They seem to get along really well. Angela might be used to dealing with the town guards, but I can't help but wonder about her being here all by herself, so I'm glad that Rennie volunteered to keep her company. I have a feeling there won't be any problems with the two of them here, which is why everyone is so quick to get on board with the plan, and after a quick goodbye, we escort Laura back to the guild hall. Everyone piles into a carriage pulled by Hector's Reno's Popo. The familiar sight of his pure white body and cute, round eyes makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I gently pat Popo's cheek while quietly thanking him for carrying us. His eyes crinkle up in response, making him look even cuter. We clamber into the carriage, much bigger than the one Popo was tethered to before, and sit down. Huh? I'm suddenly hit by a wave of exhaustion. My eyelids feel impossibly heavy. If you're tired, Miku, you should go to sleep. But we'll be back at the guild hall before long. Yeah, plus Lolly's here too, and oh, I'm succumbing to the sleep that Macro, who's sitting beside me, suggested I give into. But I promised Laura I'd introduce her to everyone. And I can't do that if I'm asleep. Ugh, but I'm so tired. And the wave of the couch rocks back and forth is making me sleepy. Hmm. My goodness, don't worry about me, Miku. You getting me out of there is more than enough, and I'm so grateful. If you really want to do something for me, maybe we can chat some more tomorrow, okay? Laura, who's sitting on the other side of me, puffs out her cheeks slightly before replacing her expression of annoyance with her usual carefree smile. She's always so thoughtful. I'm sure she's mentally and physically exhausted from her kidnapping ordeal, yet she's still looking out for me. But you should get some sleep too, Laura. I will. Everything's okay now. Stop trying to fight it. You really are a very curious girl, Miku. I'm so exhausted that I feel like my head might fall off my body. And yet, I find myself still struggling to speak when suddenly, with a heavy sigh, Macro reaches over and pulls me against him. I'm too exhausted to do anything but lean my head against his shoulder. Oh no! In this position, I'm gonna fall asleep for sure. I can hear Hector and Claire causing some kind of fuss around me, but I decide to wait until later to ask what happened. I'm really sorry. Wake me up when we get home. This is Claire's perspective, Chapter 2, The Struggle of a Girl in Love. Hector. I know already. Being on the same wavelength for once, the two of us decide to hold an urgency meeting. By the way, the background of this, we've got Claire and Miku, who are two fox girls, and they were rescued from a village. And when they were rescued, the village was under attack and got a lot of damage. They were taken to the city and joined this guild called the Lana Killer Guild. And the guild was just kind of being started or upgraded as all of this happened, because all of this is organized on the basis of a dating game, an Otome style dating game, which is supposedly structuring the rules of everything. And Hector and Claire, the Fox Girl's sister, both know what's going on, as well as a couple other people. So what they just found out was that the other romantic option, Laura, just appeared, and now Hector and Claire are both scared because she's sure to shake things up. The fact that he already knew what I was going to say proves he's already realized things are rapidly falling into place around us. I feel like my heart's about to pound out of my chest. Why, you ask? Wasn't it obvious? Why did Miku have to be kidnapped alongside the heroine? I had no idea this would happen. The fact that I had no clue this would happen means there's a chance this plot comes from the dating sim version of the game and not the original one, which is why I reluctantly decided to get Hector involved. I wish there was any other way. I have no intention of handing Miku over to him, making him essentially my enemy. But I can't say that. I'll do whatever is necessary to protect Miku, who is number one priority. And Miku has this special property of hers that she can only fall in love with one person, and if they reject her or ever break up with her, she dies because of a curse. So it's just needlessly and sillily melodramatic, or all around Miku. But it's cute. Once home, Macro carried Miku, fallen asleep after her very long day, to her room. Macro may be small, but as a dwarf, he's very strong. I tagged along, and once Macro left, I changed Miku into her pajamas before tucking her into bed with a sigh of relief. Right now, I'm just glad she's okay. I'd been honestly scared to death. I regret blowing up at Macro when he first told us what happened. Though, looking back, I know if our roles had been reversed, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, I could have done differently. At least he was able to escape. I wouldn't have been able to do that. An apology is certainly in order. I really want to stay by her side till she wakes up, but I guess that's what friends are for. I'm sure if I ask Candace, she'll take over for me. Even Marino would probably be willing to help. Miku, be more than safe with them keeping watch. She's able to use spatial magic to set up words of protection around the room. Hector already reached out, so it's only a matter of time until she arrives. Which means all we can do right now is wait. Once Miku wakes up, I'll tell her everything. With my mind made up, I make my way towards Hector's room. I knock on the door and he answers immediately, inviting me in. It's unusual for me to visit a guy's room so late at night. Regardless, there doesn't seem to be any awkwardness between us. Naturally. This is about Laura, right? Thanks for being quick on the uptake. He gets straight to the point without any meaningless small talk. Let's call this a strategy meeting of sorts. I figured we could probably come up with a plan if I got Hector involved. Who would have guessed the developers would change the plot in the dating sim version of the game so Miku and the heroine get kidnapped together? I had no idea Miku was going to get kidnapped to begin with, and if I did, I absolutely would have taken steps to prevent it. I believe you. If there's one thing I can trust you to do, it's keeping Miku safe. What happened tonight was very unusual. I'm at a loss for what's going on. I know the story has already veered off course in a number of ways from the original plot, but to think that today's story happened, but to think that the story's changed this drastically is worrisome. Let's leave this whole kidnapping incident aside. We'll drive ourselves nuts if we waste any more time agonizing over it. The real question is, where do we go from here, right? He's right. Laura is already here in the Lana Killer Guild Hall. We knew she was going to join us from the very start. If we're following the original plot now, then it was basically guaranteed. To be honest, I'd prefer to keep Laura and Miku separated. But from what I can tell, they're already friends, so it's not like we can kick her out now. You're right. Not without any good reason, at least. And to make matters worse, apparently, she has no home to return to. As a human with scruples, there's no way I can treat her so heartlessly. Whether she becomes the member of the guild or not, it looks like we're stuck with her for the time being. Not only is Laura the heroine, but her sound magic is incredibly helpful in many ways. Mostly with gathering intel. Combined with wind magic, she's able to hear sounds from a great distance away, making her an invaluable resource when it comes to potential job opportunities. Though she has no combat capabilities, it's only a matter of time before the other folks in the guild realize her potential as an ally. She might be here right now under the present pretense of us protecting her, but it won't be long before she becomes a full-fledged guild member. For what it's worth, I'm absolutely planning on keeping my distance. If we're going by the plot of the dating sim, she falls hopelessly in love with me. I know that's the nature of the game, but it still pisses me off. I mean, the point of dating sim games is for all the available female characters to fall in love with you, the protagonist, so it's not really surprising. In the original Otome version, you get to choose who falls in love with you, but considering Hector is the love interest in the classic route, the chances of Laura falling for him are pretty high. Why not go for it? Win Laura over. Don't even joke. My heart belongs to Miku. It would be perfectly okay if they ended up together. Miku's not the type of person to go after someone who already has a partner. If she's not the love interest, then she won't give him a second thought. What's your plan then, Mr. Popular? I know he has no intention of giving up on Miku, and I kind of respect that. If it was literally anyone else, I might have second thoughts on my no dating policy. Because Miku is Miku and I can only date one person, Claire is trying to keep Miku from dating Hector because in one of the games, Hector ditches Miku and Miku dies. So she's worried about that specific incident happening, even though this Hector, because of outside circumstances and being from outside the game, is dead set on Miku. So we're getting into like anime harem levels of relationship stuff. All I know is that I have no intention of falling for Laura. No chance. That's a pretty bold claim. Invisible sparks are flying between us. I mean, he basically vowed to be with Miku till death do us part, right? That he would never cheat on her. Even I'm skeptical of that. You're not giving up, are you? Not a chance. We're going in circles at this point. I heave a sigh before fixing my cold gaze on Hector. Do you really think I'm going to accept such an outrageous proposal without some kind of guarantee? I need to hear exactly what your plan is. Just know that if you were hoping to play things by ear regarding hitting on my sister, I vow to be an ever present nuisance. I see him falter momentarily upon hearing my words. Determination might be a virtue, but it's certainly not enough when it comes to love. I'll do my best to avoid Laura as much as possible and make sure we're never alone together. That's not enough to guarantee you won't be thinking about her, though I guess that's about as good as we're going to get. At the very least, it's the only plan we have. But there's one very important detail that we can't forget. I keep my voice low as I continue. By the way, Laura's like us, right? She is, isn't she? And here we are. Considering Hector and I still retain memories from our previous lives, it stands to reason that there might be other folks out there like us. Someone like our spunky heroine, perhaps? It's impossible to rule it out entirely. Of course, it's also possible that the opposite is true, that she's not like us at all. I can't say it's out of the question. It stands to reason that such a captivatingly devilish character would by nature be a reborn. Say, did you just say captivating? There's no way I can allow him to drop a word like that and not draw attention to it. Are we talking about the same girl? She certainly seems like the type who'd be prone to causing trouble. But she always struck me as fairly innocuous, a little bit of an airhead almost. Noticing my clear confusion, he offers an explanation. They tweaked her personality between game versions. She's more of an innocent airhead in the original, but the devs ended up adding an alluringly devilish side to her in the dating sim, since she was too similar to Miku's character. That seductiveness of hers is central to the plot. Isn't that kind of chauvinistic? To be fair, kind of biased. You know that guys are into that kind of stuff. They changed her character so she'd be more interesting to a male audience, but isn't that a horrible character trait to have? But if that's true, then which Laura did we bring back with us? That's what we'll have to figure out. I'd much prefer the innocent version, though being an airhead comes with its own unique set of issues. Did he just call Miku an airhead by being too similar to Laura? Oh my. With evil intentions thrown into the mix, it won't really matter whether she acts innocent or not. And if Laura ends up being a reborn, then her personality might end up being something else entirely. It's not like Hector's anything like the dashing Prince Charming is in the game. I heaved a sigh. I miss the days when I assumed everything would be fine since I knew what was going to happen. I was so confident that knowing the future meant I could change it for the better. I was basically using the knowledge gained from my previous life to cheat in this one. But then I came to realize that this life I'm living now is still just as real. Nothing's gone the way I thought it would. That's just life, right? And I have no intention of giving up. All I can do for now is to keep my guard up, make sure nothing bad happens to Miku, deal with problems as they arise. At any rate, that's the plan moving forward. Do whatever it takes to never be alone with Laura. The others can deal with her, and I can too, of course. Upon hearing my plan, Hector shoots me a slightly wounded look. I'm helping you, aren't I? You were expecting more? If it were up to me, I would never stick my neck out for him. Idiot. Everything I do is for Miku, so don't get the wrong idea. I give an annoyed hump in response, and Hector idly scratches his cheek with his finger, slightly uncomfortable, but accepting the situation for what it is. Let's wrap this up. Otherwise, we won't be able to keep an eye on Laura. Good point. There's not much left to do from there. That band of bandits was pretty big, though. It's going to be a real pain in the butt to go through everyone's criminal history. Guess that means tomorrow's shot, since I'll be all busy doing that. We're taking this whole thing awfully lightly. Once Marino or Candace get here, let's head over to the main guardhouse right away. We'll work through the night, even if it means keeping everyone awake to get the information we need. I want to have this thing finished by tomorrow morning. I prefer being by Miku's side for every waking moment of her life whenever possible. Hearing my words, Hector's eyes grew again, wide in surprise. I guess he didn't believe I'd actually help him. Come to think of it, if I leave most of the claiming up in Hector's more than capable hands, I'll be able to stay with Miku as long as I want. But if we don't wrap up this kidnapping business quickly, I'll be worried every time Miku walks out the door. I mean, she was kidnapped the first time despite having a trustworthy escort and macro protecting her. I want to be able to put every last cursory look over in the mirror before running out of the room. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh, Miku morning. Huh? Candace and Marino? Good morning. What are you two doing here? It's unusual to see you out and about. I rushed downstairs to find Candace and Marino seated at the dining room table, casually sipping tea. Reason why I'm so surprised to see them is because Candace doesn't live here and I hardly ever see Marino. Well, there's certainly one way to greet a guest. I heard you had quite an experience last night, young lady, which is why we came to see how you're faring. That's right, Miku. We were so worried when we heard we just had to come and see you for ourselves. They came just to see me? Their kindness is so heartwarming that I find myself on the verge of tears. Hey, what's wrong, Miku? Was it really that bad? Oh gosh, you poor thing. There, you look so traumatized. Over here, I'll give you some much needed care and attention. Being kidnapped was definitely no walk in the park, but their overwhelming kindness is so heartwarming. I find myself unable to speak through the tears flowing down my face. I wind up crying tears of joy as I let the two of them shower me with attention, though I am only able to squeeze out a thank you at some point. Candace and Marino quickly get my breakfast ready. I try to help as a means of thanking them, but they both insist that the bawling girl should sit instead. Already embarrassed, though, but also thankful for their kindness, I find myself antsy for a different reason. I really do appreciate the gesture, though. The warm vegetable soup was clearly made with love from both of them. After finally calming down, the two of them fill me in on what's currently doing. Hector, Macro, and Claire left early this morning to follow up on yesterday's kidnapping incident. Rainy and Angela went straight to the guardhouse last night, so considering they never returned, we're assuming they're still dealing with the aftermath of this messy situation. Oh gosh. Don't tell me that they stayed up all night, and meanwhile, what was I doing? Sleeping peacefully in my bed without a care in the world. By the way, I heard everyone agreed to simply let you sleep after you passed out in the carriage ride home. They said Claire made extra sure not to wake you while she was changing into your pajamas. Everyone wanted to make sure you got enough rest after your ordeal. They quickly explain, in an attempt to comfort me, my overwhelming feelings of guilt over the situation written plainly on my face. I see. Went out of their way to make sure I didn't wake up. I thought it was strange that I'd slept for as long as I did. No matter how mentally exhausted I might be, it's hard to believe I wouldn't wake up at all. Claire's usually the deep sleeper, able to snooze through anything. Now then, about that girl you brought back with you. Oh, that's right. How was Laura doing? It's not that I'd forgotten about her. I just wasn't sure how to broach the subject. But I guess the two of them already know all about Laura. Well, that's a relief. Marino tells me how Laura's already been sound asleep ever since they put her to bed in one of the guild's empty rooms, which means that they still haven't formally met yet. I ended up checking in on her around dawn because I was worried she might be feeling ill. She didn't have a fever, though. I think she was just tired. She must have been as exhausted as me. But if she's been sleeping that peacefully, she must be okay. Thank you for checking on her, Marino. Hope she gets as much rest as she needs, especially since they clearly snatched her up before getting me. Just as this thought crosses my mind, speak of the devil. Oh, Laura! Following Marino's gaze, I turn to see Laura climbing down the stairs. Upon seeing me, Laura's face immediately brightens, as if relieved to see a familiar face. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to sleep that long, she says awkwardly. I know exactly how you feel. I was basically thinking the same thing a minute ago. I go over to meet her, still standing at the bottom of the stairs, before leading her back over to the dining room table. After gesturing her to sit down, I introduce her to Marino and Candace, and vice versa, of course. I'm sure that there's a lot that you want to talk about. How about you get fed first? You must be starving, Laura. Haha, teehee, that sounds good to me. She looked so cute, sitting there seemingly embarrassed while still answering the question honestly. Reno and Candace smile in response. Since the two of them had my plate, I felt it was only right for me to make Laura's. Though, to be fair, all I really had to do was reheat the food they'd already made. Warm vegetable soup, made with love, and bread to go with it. I decided to make her an omelet as well with extra cheese to make the meal more filling. Hmm. Wow, this looks so good. Really don't mind me eating this? I don't have anything I can give you in return. You're a bit like Miku, huh, Lara? There's no need to be shy. If it makes you feel any better, you can help clean up the kitchen when you're done. That works for me. I promise to work hard in order to earn this meal. But for now, time to dig in. Laura responds cheerfully to Candace's comment, and it's clear that she's already back to her usual and upbeat and energetic self. Good. You won't be able to get your strength back without a hearty meal in your belly. Marino and Candace ask her questions from time to time while she eats, like where she was going and where she had been. Come to think of it, I guess I never thought to ask her any of those things. Considering I have no idea where I am right now, it's hard for me to talk about where I've been. I was born and raised in a village so small it's not on any map. We were pretty poor, though we always managed to get food on the table. I always planned on leaving home to find work when I turned 15. So the day after my birthday, I set out on my journey. I didn't leave without getting permission from my parents first, of course. Laura chuckles after stating the first part. She explains how her hometown and her family meant a lot to her, and her dream had always been to find a stable job in a big city to help support them and provide them with delicious food to eat. She's really devoted to her family. Then she ended up getting kidnapped by that group of bandits along the way, which is what led to her ending up here. Ugh, that's pretty unfortunate. We must have all had the same expression of sympathy on our faces when we heard that, but she continues chatting away cheerfully, seemingly unmindful. It's because I got kidnapped that I was able to eat Miku, so it must have been fate. I'm really happy we met. Well, also because she once again states her desire to join our guild, and I notice a faint, familiar glimpse of that mature side in her eyes. Caught off guard, all we can do is exchange awkward glances, our smiles clearly forced. It's been several days since Laura came to the Lana Killer Guild. The matter of Laura joining the guild, the question she posed the first day she arrived, is still pending. Mainly because when she initially asked, only myself, Marino, and Candace were there. And though none of us objected to her joining, we didn't have the power to make that decision. Especially not without the other members or Hector, the guild leader. And since the conversation couldn't go on any further, we ended it there for the time being. I felt bad because she seemed pretty understanding, which was a relief. But also, she also promised to talk to Hector herself, which is why she's still here, waiting for the right moment to bring it up. Actually, Laura still hasn't met Hector or the rest of the guild members yet. I'm not sure if it's simply a matter of bad timing or what, but it always seems to just miss each other. It seems unavoidable at the moment, unfortunately. Hector and the rest of the guys have their hands full dealing with the aftermath, taking down that high-profile kidnapping ring. The case of our kidnapping might be solved, but there are still a lot of questions left unanswered. I'm pretty much in the dark about most of it. But what it boils down to is that Hector and the others stop by the guild from time to time, though never for very long. And that's why they still haven't formally met Laura yet. Well, to be fair, they've exchanged casual greetings here and there, but they have yet to sit down for an actual chat. I know they're really busy right now, so I feel bad bothering them with something like this. I plan on bringing it up once things settle down. I've got a place to stay and food to eat, so waiting around isn't an issue, she says with a laugh, seemingly being okay with waiting for an answer. It's not like she's mooching off of us or anything, though. She's a great help around the house. She says she's used to helping out with the chores and stuff every day back in her hometown, which is probably why she seems to do everything with ease. To be fair, it's a huge help. Honestly, the fact we share similar mindsets, mainly feeling obliged to help in whatever way we can to show our gratitude, is probably why I feel as close to her as I do. It's all part of my plan. I mean, if I spend my time here helping out around the house, then it might increase my chances of getting accepted into the guild, right? She says while wiping off the table before giggling, sticking her tongue out playfully. She refers to it as laying the groundwork for a success. As expected from Laura, she's much more of a go-getter than I will ever be. I admire that part of her a lot. Now then, all of the chores for today are done, and it's not even the afternoon yet. With Laura's help, that didn't take very long at all. How about we take a little rest, Laura? Yay! I'll start getting some tea ready. Only the two of us are at home right now. Everyone else is either busy tying up loose ends to the kidnapping case or working hard getting some work done and bringing in some money. Honestly, I kind of want to go back to work too. The cleaning requests are piling up. But until they're able to put this kidnapping case to rest, I'm not really supposed to go into town. It's for my own safety, of course. Although we were able to catch my kidnappers, they still don't want me wandering around until they can figure out what the group's motive was, or if other members of the group are still out there. Of course, Claire is the most worried. There's no way I can say anything when she's cheerfully begging me to stay at home, especially after making her worry as I did the first time. She asked me to be patient for the time being, at least until someone has time to escort her around town. It seemed easier to simply agree so as not to become a bigger burden than I already am. Here, Miku. Thanks. As I go to close the window I left open to help ventilate the room, Laura pours me a cup of tea and places it on the table. I take a seat in the chair in front of my cup, and she takes a seat across from me. I'm sorry. You probably want to go explore the city, huh? Well, of course I do, but I was kidnapped too, you know. Honestly, I can't complain, considering how much I'm being pampered here. Laura's unfortunately stuck here in the guild for the same reason as I am. But to be honest, I'm kind of glad. A lot more fun to have someone else to keep me company, reassuring as well. Maybe you can show me around town once things settle down. Of course I will. There's still a lot of places I'm not familiar with, though, so I can't entirely vouch for my thoroughness as a tour guide. Let's see. Need to go blow my nose. Give me a second. I have to go find something. come back. I had to blow my nose. Well, of course, I do, but I was kidnapped too, you know. Honestly, I can't complain, considering how much I'm being pampered here. Laura's unfortunately stuck here in the goat for the same reason as me. But to be honest, I'm kind of glad. A lot more fun to have someone else to keep me company, and reassuring as well. Maybe you can show me around town once things settle down. Of course I will. There are still a lot of places I'm not familiar with, so I can't entirely vouch for my thoroughness as a tour guide. Then we can explore the city together. That sounds like a lot of fun. She's always so upbeat. No matter how anxious or uncomfortable she might feel, she never lets it show. One of her strengths is her ability to see everything in a positive light, no matter what. Hey, can I ask you something? We lapse into a companionable silence that stretches out for a few moments before Laura breaks it, speaking in a hushed tone. There's no one home but us, so I'm not sure why she's whispering, but I answer her while speaking quietly myself. Can't promise an answer, but I'll try. Is it about something so serious? I put my teacup down before giving Laura my full attention. What she proceeds to ask me takes me completely by surprise. Is there any chance you're in love, Miku? Good thing I put my cup down because otherwise I might be choking right now. I mean, I'm so taken aback by the question that I might have even spit out my tea. Huh? What? Why did she ask like that? Love? Me? Of course not. There's absolutely no chance. What makes you think I am? Do I look like someone in love? I can't hide how flustered I am, mainly because falling in love is a life or death situation for me, so I'm exceptionally sensitive to the topic. Seeing me so frazzled, she begins giggling. I get the feeling she probably thinks my overreaction is a far more adorable reason. You're so cute, Miku. You can't hide anything, huh? That's not a lie, I guess, but I'm not in love. I mean it. Despite my immediate and firm denial, she twines a strand of her shoulder length black hair around her finger while playfully egging me on. Wait, does that mean she doesn't believe me? To be honest, you do look like you're in love, but I figured this just might be your first crush. My first crush? Even though I'm not entirely aware of it, I can't bring myself to deny it outright. This dilemma causes my face to immediately turn crimson red due to her teasing. You share a house with a bunch of guys, right? It's not unusual to develop an innocent crush in this kind of scenario. Even I get butterflies from time to time with the right person. Don't tell me you haven't. She continues playfully while resting her chin in her hands. The gesture makes her look more like the mature Lara than the innocent one. Ugh, I can't resist her when she looks at me like that. I've felt butterflies before, but that's not the same thing as being in love, right? You sweet summer child. Ah! She suddenly shouts in my response to my innocent question, pointing her finger dramatically at me, and I'm so shocked that my chair almost tips over backwards. Sweet summer what? Those butterflies are the first sign of love. You probably are in love, Miku. Maybe you are just in denial. I'm in denial about my feelings. Me? I guess it's possible, but considering I don't know the first thing about love, it's impossible for me to know. And besides, me being in love, falling in love puts my very life in danger. In response to my silence, Laura leans forward before continuing. You might not love him yet, but maybe there's someone you think is really great. Take Wells, for instance. I find a mature man like that to be pretty attractive. Kiefer's pretty sloppy appearance-wise, but you can always count on him to get the job done when he has to. To be honest, I've had very similar thoughts. Everyone is pretty sweet and charming in their own unique ways. Hector's got his perfect good looks, though it seems like Candace already marked her territory regarding him. Well, you're always going to have a rival when it comes to love. I don't know what it is about him, but his caring nature is kind of intriguing. She bluntly states her romantic interest in him while laughing enchantingly. Taking Candace on as a rival sounds like playing with fire. It sounds like she's joking around, but I'm not sure how she expects to become friends with everyone while talking about fighting with one over a guy. Rainey's not bad either. I mean, he's a little dumb in some ways, but once you get to know him, he'll protect you with his life. Mm-hmm. I can see myself falling for him. You can really love that many people? Of course. You can crush on anyone special enough to give you butterflies. And from within that special group of guys, you'll eventually find the one that you love the most. Laura looks over almost spellbound as she speaks. That's when I finally understood. Love for Laura is a far more causal emotion. The feeling I have toward my friends who are special to me is what she equates as to love. Perhaps we simply share different perspectives, though it's kind of a relief to hear her say that. Maybe I'm just hypersensitive to the word. It's kind of refreshing to think of it in such a casual way, and a huge weight off of my shoulders, although my heart still skips a beat every time she mentions it so casually. I'll pass on Macro, though. He's pretty short and unfriendly to boot. I bet he's really boring to hang out with him. Huh? I'd like to be friends with him, but I doubt we'd ever be anything more than that, she says with a smirk. What is this weird feeling? It's almost like I'm annoyed, but not quite. I've never felt anything like this before in my entire life. That's not true at all. He can sometimes be difficult to read due to his bluntness, but he's a really nice person. He's just as tough on himself as on others. He's very responsible, and he's really cool. I suddenly realized I stood up at some point. That's right. Macro is really cool. All of his amazing qualities almost seem to go to waste due to his inability to communicate well with others. I wish more people could get to know how great he is. I mean, he's always acting with everyone else in mind. It's really sad to me how misunderstood he is by most of the folks around us. I see. I feel like I missed that boat out of ignorance. I glance over to see Laura looking at me in surprise. Oh gosh, what have I done now? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so. Okay, she's now saying, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so mean about it. I just didn't want you to have the wrong impression of him. That is Miku, okay. No, it's okay. What I said was pretty mean. It's only natural for you to have Macro's best intentions in mind. Plus, it's nice to hear you get excited about something for once, she says, laughing. I'm sorry for shouting? I wonder why I came on that strong. She could have easily understood me even if I was using an indoor talking voice. Was I angry about what she said? It's no wonder that she got the wrong idea about Macro. But I feel like I blew the situation out of proportion. And now I know him a little bit better thanks to you. I guess he's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. What isn't? Nothing. I think I'm going to do some exercise out in the garden. Contrary to how bad I feel over what just happened, Laura nods several times as if satisfied about something. I wonder what did she figure out? My curiosity is killing me, but before I can say anything, she's out of her seat and hurrying toward the garden. Reno and Candace stop by for a visit just past noon. The sun's still high overhead. It's reassuring to see them so often, something they promise to keep doing until this whole entire situation blows over. Just as we sit down to enjoy our usual afternoon tea together, Claire and Angela arrive, announcing their presence from the front door. Their voices sound far less energetic than usual. Concerned, I hurry over to greet them. Welcome back, you two. Is everything okay? Miku! For a sweet sight for sewer eyes. Wah! What's wrong, Claire? I ask while closing the front door. Claire immediately pounces, wrapping me in a warm hug. Did something happen? I look over at Angela, searching for some sort of explanation. She smiles wryly at me, her expression just as exhausted as Claire's, before she begins talking. Simply speaking, she's exhausting from putting that daunting task to bed. To be fair, I'm pretty tired too. Do you, does that mean it's all over? Finally? Wondering if the kidnapping close is finally closed. The two heave huge sighs at almost the same time. It's still not over yet. We've done as much as we can for now. All that's left is to wait and see. I think we've managed to take down the kidnapping ring at least, but we're still in the dark regarding this mystery person the bandits keep talking about. According to the local guards, there should be no danger of any more kidnappings now that the ring's been shut down and the guilty members arrested. Although there are a couple guys still on the run, the police should be able to track them down easily enough, and as members of a guild, they'll get taken in sooner rather than later. But the reason for all the long faces is because a part of the case they can't figure out. Apparently, someone told the bandits to kidnap you and Laura specifically. In other words, you weren't the original targets. Huh? But who could have given that type of order? We have no idea. We asked the kidnappers, they said they couldn't remember. It really is worrying, though it explains why they sounded so glum about the case for the most part being wrapped up. Maybe it's that guy Macro mentioned who can apparently manipulate people. Claire and the others seem to think that's the case, though they've come to a roadblock in their investigation. That's really frustrating. It seems like it's going to take some time to figure out who gave the order, and with the threat of immediate danger gone, Claire and Angela came back for the time being. I hate to keep you and Laura locked up in the house forever. Which is why we decided Claire will act as your personal bodyguard. Marino and Candace have their own stuff to do and can't keep stopping stuff like this if they can't stopping by like they have been. So they've been visiting all the time recently because of me. They're so sweet. I feel bad for all the trouble I've caused, but I'm glad that they've been getting out of the house more than usual. Does that mean we'll get to go out finally? Hooray! Between the two of us, whoops. Between the two of us, Laura is by far the happiest. She doesn't seem all that upset about not knowing why she was kidnapped or ordered her abduction. Honestly, that innocent side of her is a part of what I like about her. We've been patiently waiting inside all this time. I'm tired of it, and I want to go out. Aren't we missing a couple of guild members? Are the guys still busy? I feel bad celebrating if they're still hard at work. And yet, she still worries about the people around her. She's such a sweet girl, and I'm just as worried about Hector and the other guys too, of course. They'll be back later tonight. Though there's nothing else we can do for now, they apparently wanted to check in with the investigation one last time. That makes sense. Which means we'll have to have a big group dinner for the first time in a while. I'll finally get to see Hector after so long. I can't wait. Gosh, Candace, he's all you ever talk about. Do you really like him that much? I love him. Marino chuckles, amused at seeing Candace place her hands on both of her cheeks with glee. Candace's feelings for Hector are so obvious they can even make her smile. I understand how you feel, Marino. I like Hector too. Laura's simple words feel like she threw a bucket of cold water onto the warm and fuzzy atmosphere in the room. Everyone immediately freezes in place. Glancing around cautiously, I realize Claire's gone pale. She looks so serious that it's about to make her forget all about Laura. Her declaration of her feelings for Hector is kind of surprising, but not enough to warrant that kind of overreaction, right? I'm not exactly sure what might have caught Claire by surprise like that, though I'm used to her suddenly reacting oddly to situations for seemingly no reason. It's usually due to It's usually due to memories from her previous life, which is probably what's going on right now. Unfortunately, that's not much I can do for her right now. It's so frustrating that I can't help her. Back up a sec. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. Yep, I've never mentioned it before. Oof. Now someone else is reacting. Candace is the first to speak, which makes sense. She wasn't expecting a rival to appear out of nowhere. There's no way she'd let Laura get away with something like that. Are they going to fight? But unable to bring myself to say something, I simply stand there helplessly. Oh my, what do we have here? Shut up, Marino. Marino is watching this sudden development with a twinkle of excitement in her eyes. Angela quickly steps forward, telling her to hush up, which is fair. Things are only going to get more heated if an unrelated party tries to get involved. What exactly do you mean by that? Don't even think about it. Hector fell in love with me first. You only just got here. Don't you dare try and get involved. Why? Why does it matter who is here first? It's ultimately up to Hector who he wants to be with, right? Why Hector of all people? Because he's pretty cool. Well, you're certainly not wrong about that. Hector is almost abnormally attractive, although that enough so that just seeing his face makes my heart dance with joy. Things are quickly heating up between the two girls. Janice is especially getting agitated. Laura has entered her more mature mode, facing down Candace with a look of exceptional calmness on her face. Can't tell which one she is. Huh? As I stand there confused, Claire mutters under her breath from beside me. I guess this really does have something to do with that game, The Other World, but I still have no idea what she's talking about. When she gets like this, there's no point in trying to talk to her. All I can do is wait and ask about it later, though the problem unfolding before us is a huge problem. What should we do? Looking around, aren't all the Lana Killer girls here in this room? We should take advantage of the moment for some girl talk. I'm so flustered that I can barely move an inch, unsure of what to do, which is when Laura tosses out the suggestion with an innocent smile on her face. Huh? The flirty look on her eyes is suddenly gone. Even Candace, who's been glaring at her with open hostility, seems flabbergasted. That girl is the definition of two-faced. Two-faced? Yeah, I get it. She's usually looks so innocent, but sometimes it's more a mature expression crosses her face. I respond to Claire's hushed comment with a murmured observation of my own. Not because I don't want anyone to hear this, but because I find myself unconsciously matching Claire's tone with my own. If she were open and honest, she'd be like the girl in the original game, and if she was more of a pick-me girl, then it'd be clearly to be the dating sim. There's a chance that everything could be an act. Sorry, Claire. I have no idea what any of that means. Sorry. I promise I'll explain everything later. This must have something to do with her memories of her previous life. She mentioned the game, which means that Clara must be a character that Claire knows. But how exactly do they know each other? Is it possible that she's the final Lana Killer Guild member we're waiting for? Oh, is Clara the heroine? I mutter into Claire's ears even quieter than before, and with a smirk crosses her face before she gives a slight nod. I see. That's who Laura is. With that said, I still have no idea what exactly that means or why Claire seems guarded around her. From the look she gives me, I can tell she wants me to continue acting oblivious. I'm pretty confident that even if I asked, I wouldn't understand, but I want to know. Maybe I'll ask her more about it later tonight. So, do you want to go out now? I don't want to end the day on such an awkward note. So I tried changing the topic. In response to my suggestion, Laura places her hands on both my cheeks, squishing my face while laughing happily. I'd love to go out, but having some girl time while the boys are busy seems like a lot more fun. Plus, I get the feeling it's not often that the girls of the guild get to hang out together like this. We'll be able to go out into the city another time. I guess she does have a point. Claire, myself, and Angela all live here, but Candace and Marino are almost never here, and it's even rare that all of the guys are out of the house. Sounds fine with me. Fun even. I'm also in. I'm not leaving until you drag me out of here kicking and screaming. Reno was the first to respond. She sits down on the couch with an amused grin on her face. Candace pipes up next, pointing her finger at Laura as if challenging her. Let's try and get along, okay? Ugh, guess that means I have no choice but to join in. Huh? I won't let you escape, Angela. It won't hurt you to participate in this kind of thing from time to time. Hey, let go, Marino. Marino reaches out and grabs a hold of Angela, who looked like been about to flee from the room at any moment. Marino, who's resting her chin on the back of the couch, looks genuinely amused. And here I thought she only had eyes for the aloof Wells. She seems to get along well with Laura, who's brimming with curiosity. Angela lets herself get pulled again and ends up sitting next to Marino on the couch. Her shoulders slump dejectedly, seemingly giving up on escaping the situation. She really doesn't like doing stuff like this. I always saw her as someone who can do anything with ease, so it's interesting to just see a new side of her. Maybe we can stick to safe, fun topics, though I'm pretty nervous about what we're going to talk about. Claire, was it? What about you? Oh, sorry. I'll join you under the pretense of gathering intel. Gathering intel? Alright. I still haven't gotten the chance to talk to most of you, huh? Ask me about anything. Let's start girl talk. Wait. I never said I'd be joining or not. Laura probably already knows there's no way I'd be able to escape, though, which is true. A wink and a smile in my direction is enough to make me forget about being grumpy. Plus, I'm really excited to be able to talk like this without any of the boys around. Okay, then. Since we're all here, we may as well have a good time and try to keep things from getting awkward. Chapter 3, Mark of the Curse. Claire and I sit across from Marino and the others on the couch. Alright, good progress. And the others on the couch, while Candace relaxes in a nearby armchair. Laura sits down in her own chair before immediately beginning to speak. Let's get straight to the point. Who here is in love? She asks cheerfully while raising her hand, answering her own question. Candace glares at her pointedly, her own hand shooting up in the air. Her enthusiasm is impressive. Huh? No one else? Are you sure you're alive out here? Are you girls okay? Only 2 people ended up raising their hands. Laura lowers her hand, her former gusto replaced with bewilderment. What about you, Marino? Angela asks from amidst the silence. That's right, Marino and Wells are dating. I look over at Marino, clearly confused. She places a finger against her lips before opening her mouth to answer. You mean Wells, right? I'm not sure how to put this, but the spark that I once felt is gone. If you were to ask me if I'm still in love with him, I'm not sure how I could answer. You love him, but you're not in love with him. I didn't realize that was possible. Puzzled by her statement, I find myself asking before I can stop myself. I mean, loving someone means you're in love with them, right? What she said doesn't make sense. Is this what they refer to as going through a rough patch in a relationship? Alright, now I'm gonna get some water. back with Chapter 3 of Surviving in Another World as a Villainous Fox Girl. Chapter 3 Mark of the Curse. Claire and I sit across from Marino and the others on the couch while, excuse me, while Candace relaxes in a nearby armchair. Laura sits down in her own chair before immediately beginning to speak. Let's get straight to the point. Okay, I already read that part. I mean, loving someone means you're in love with them, right? She said doesn't make any sense. Is this what they refer to as going through a rough patch in a relationship? I'm surprised that you know about that, Laura. But I think it's a little different. Love as a word can have a lot of meanings. You're still too young to understand all of them. Wow, spoken like a true adult. Laura's made me realize that there are all kinds of different types of love. Though I'm not sure how Marino and Will's relationship fits in with that. What I know, if you ask me, it seems like they enjoyed each other's presence in their own ways. Maybe it's nothing more than a time problem. But the last time I saw them together, I felt a strong connection between them. I know they care about each other deeply, a fact that will never change. And though it's not on the same level as love, I still think that kind of relationship is truly special. I get why Marino kept her hand down. But Miko, too? Why didn't you raise your hand? You're in love, aren't you? Huh? What? You're joking, right? Well, my, is that so? I was only half listening to the conversation when I realized everyone's talking about me. Wait a second. What's going on? Miku, is it true? Are you really in love with someone? Who? Tell me. Isn't this really actually kind of a big deal? Claire is the most distraught by Laura's statement. Even Angela is taking it seriously, and all of the assumption that Laura is telling the truth. I have to nip this in the bud. Everyone, please calm down. I'm not in love or anything like that. Laura just got the wrong idea about something I said. That's right. It has to be some kind of mistake. It probably stemmed from the conversation we had about love the other day. Though I'm not sure how she could have come to that conclusion. You're right. You're wrong. It's just that Miku hasn't realized it herself yet. I guarantee that Miku is 100% in love, and her reaction proves it. She's far more serious about it than my playful teasing lets on. But Laura confidently says otherwise, despite being wrong. How could she possibly think she knows me better than I know myself? So you just admitted to toying with other people's hearts, specifically Hector's? Don't toss around the word love so lightly. What's your problem? I thought you might be a good person, but clearly I was an idiot. You're awful, Laura. You won't have any friends at the rate you're going. That's harsh. The only one with an awful personality is you, Candace. Amidst the confusion, Laura and Candace begin fighting, just when I thought that we were on the verge of making up and getting along again. What should I do? Just as I begin to panic, Hector and the others pick that exact moment to walk in, their voices echoing down the hall. Why now? Why couldn't they have come back a little later? Candace is out of her chair before most of us realize what's going on. Midway through their argument, she rushes for the door. Laura hurriedly scampers after her, trying to catch up. The thump of their footsteps echoes loudly, followed by their excited voices a few seconds later. Looks like Hector and the others are being dragged into a messy situation whether they want to or not. I hope they'll be okay. I knew this would happen. Well then, let's head over and see how they're making out. Angela, don't get me involved in this. You're the only one amused by what's going on. I'm going back to my room. Marino, who seems thrilled by all the commotion, jumps to her feet, her hand still firmly on Angela's arm. She then proceeds to drag her, kicking and screaming, toward the front door. Knowing how strong Angela is, I'm impressed anyone can force her to do anything against her will. This is no time to be impressed by feats of strength. I have to go after them. I feel really bad for Hector and the others who might be exhausted to come to this. Miku, Claire. But before I can take more than one step forward, I feel Claire's hand on my arm, pulling me back. She looks serious. Oh, it's probably about our conversation a few moments earlier. Everything's okay, Claire. I'm not actually in love. It's not about that. Well, it is about that, but not in the way you're thinking. She takes a deep breath as if trying to calm herself down. Then she brings her face close to mine, speaking in a hushed voice. What's happening now? It's part of the plot, but it's supposed to happen after Laura joins the guild. Part of what plot? Oh, you mean the game? But Laura hasn't actually officially joined Lana Killer yet, right? It's true. There's no mistaking this is the same cutscene, she says. Claire goes on to explain, just when you think everyone in the guild is getting along, Laura steps forward, announces the name of the boy she likes, and states that she wants to be in a relationship with him. When she does that grandiose announcement in front of everyone, it starts a huge fight with whoever her rival is. That's basically what happens in the game, at least. Originally, that big fight you witnessed was supposed to happen with you and Laura, but this time it was Candace. In the original game, Candace is in love with Macro. The scenarios are all messed up in different ways, thus causing the events of the plot to change slightly and leaving me with a bad feeling, which is why I'm worried. Claire grips both of my shoulders tightly. Her serious crimson eyes stare straight into mine. Are you sure you're not in love? I'm not saying you can't be. Ugh, I wish you weren't, but if you were, I don't want you to hide it from me, okay? All I want is to be able to protect you. She seems on the verge of tears. I can practically feel her desperation. She is always looking out for me, worrying over me, and helps me out in so many ways, and I just sort of let it happen without saying anything. Should I really go along with whatever she wants just because I said so? I don't think that's a good way to live my life. I mean, I don't want to be protected all the time, which is why I want to answer her as honestly as I can, even though I don't fully understand my own feelings. For starters, I don't know the first thing about love. I'm pretty sure I'm not in love, but I'm not positive. I mean, right now I only see Macro as a very dear friend of mine, but you're in love with Macro? Huh? Seeing Claire standing there with her mouth open, speechless, I finally realize I mentioned Macro's name without any intention of doing so. Neither Claire nor Laura asked for a name, and yet I gave one unprompted. Do you really think that I and Macro? What about me? Huh? Eep, Macro? The moment I remember his name, I hear his voice right behind me and I let out a yip of surprise. But perfect timing, the person I'm talking about suddenly appears. I feel like my throat's jumped into my throat. I didn't mean to scare you like that, sorry. As I desperately try to calm down my racing heart, I turn toward Macro, who's apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm the one who should be apologizing. I want to say that to him so badly, and yet... For some reason, I can't bring myself to look him in the face. I feel so incredibly embarrassed right now. I can't stay here even one moment longer. I immediately race upstairs without saying another word. I feel like I'm suffocating. I'm so embarrassed. What should I do? This is painful. After slamming my door shut, I slump down on the floor against the wall. I don't have the strength to stand. What's wrong with me? Am I sick? I've never felt this way before. My heart's pounding, I'm having trouble breathing, and I don't know what to do. My thoughts are all over the place. I don't understand what's going on, and I want to scream at the top of my lungs. It's a truly bizarre feeling. Ugh, nung. But if I start screaming, I'll just scare everyone in the house. I jump to my bed, leap into bed, and pull the covers up over my head, and then I howl in frustration. Miku, I'm coming in. That's when I hear Claire's quiet voice coming in from the other side of the door. Oh right, I just left her behind. I try to tell her how sorry I am, but no words come out of my mouth. I don't trust myself not to start screaming once I open my mouth. Instead of waiting for a response, she walks in and sits on the side of my bed. Then she pats my head over the top of the covers. You're in love with Macro, huh? She says warmly. This feeling is love, then that must mean... I throw my blankets back and wrap my arms around Claire. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. What do I do? Calm down, Miku. Everything's okay. But I could die if I fall in love with someone, which is why Claire's so desperate to present it from happening to begin with. I honestly never dreamed I'd fall in love with anyone. It always seemed like something that would never happen to me. I promised you, didn't I? That if you did fall in love, I'd do everything in my power to back you up, which is why you need to be honest with me. Did you forget? I didn't forget. Okay, that's right. She did promise. She told me that she wouldn't let me die, and that in return, we both promised. I sat up straight and turned to face her. I've always relied on Claire, and I'm sure I will continue to do so, but I refuse to give up. Now is not the time to feel discouraged. Claire, can I tell you something? Of course. Whenever I'm with Macro, my heart feels so full. All I want is to listen to him talk and to learn about him. I see. He's a little awkward and is often misunderstood, but he is incredibly dependable and very kind. He's pretty hard to read and he doesn't say much, but I can always count on him to be straightforward about his feelings in any situation. I don't think Macro sees me as anything other than a fellow guild member, though. Honestly, I'm not even sure if he considers me a friend, considering that I can't offer much in terms of fighting power. That's not true. I smile at Claire as she objects to what I said. Maybe that's not true. Maybe he does see me as a friend, but it doesn't matter. I know I'm being self-centered, but I don't care. That's not important. All I know is that I don't want to give up on this feeling. I want him to know I care about him, and if possible, I hope that he feels the same way. But for some reason, I can't bring myself to face him. My heart races just thinking about it to the point where I have no idea what I should say. Like a moment ago. Oh gosh, what am I going to do? I can't even remember what kind of stuff I talked to him about up until now. Which reminds me, Macro hugged me, didn't he? Ah, why did I have to remember that now? Come on, Miku, you're blushing red. What are you thinking about? You know what? Never mind. Ready to confess? Right now? Chuckling, Claire urges me to continue. Ugh, I'm going to say it. I will take 3 deep breaths in and out before opening my mouth. I really, really like Macro. Putting my feelings into words makes me feel even more embarrassed. But it's true. This is how it feels like to someone. To fall in love with someone. When I think about him, my heart aches, but in a happy way. I get angry whenever someone says something bad about him or makes him feel sad. I go through mood swings over him that I do about myself, to the point where I feel like I can't control my emotions. I'm definitely sick with something. I feel in pain even now. It's all too easy for me to imagine how much more painful it'll be if my feelings go only one way. I want him to know the truth so badly. But what if he doesn't feel the same way? I don't think I'd ever recover. Just thinking about it makes my chest hurt. The faster my thoughts race, the tighter my chest gets. Am I actually having trouble breathing, or is it my imagination? Miku, Claire, it feels like my heart is throbbing, like needles are piercing my skin. What's going on? Next thing my body is enveloped in a flash of light. Huh? Light? What is happening to me? But the light almost immediately fades away. Miku, show me your chest. As I start to glow, she cries out in shock before yanking on the front of my shirt, panicking. Then she gasps. Worried about this sudden and troubling development, I look down at myself. Is that a mark? I've never seen it before. Miku. I notice a glowing mark on my chest in the shape of a star sun. I've never seen it before in my life. How did it get there? It seems pretty painful. And I'm having a hard time breathing. Claire, do you know what this is? Claire wraps her arms around me, looking miserable, which is proof enough that she clearly knows what's going on. I stay silent as I wait for Claire to speak. Yes, this is the mark of your curse. It must have happened when you realized you were in love, she says, looking grim. A cursed mark, and yet I feel surprisingly calm, which seems to help me breathe easier despite the horrendous pain. The mark is still there. I'm going to be okay. She takes several deep breaths to steady herself before turning to Claire once more. I think I'm okay now. Can you tell me everything you know about this mark? Of course. She nods, her expression gloomy, before inviting me to lean against her. I feel better than a moment ago, but I am pretty tired, and it's nice to be cuddled sometimes. I rest my head gently on Claire's shoulder, and as I lean against her, she gently strokes my hair. It's been a while since we cuddled like this. It's said that the mark will vanish once you successfully meet the match with the love of your life. But since that never happens in the original game, I don't know if it's true or not. I see, so it disappears. I run my finger lightly over the mark. It seems fine now, though it was very hot and painful a moment ago. I hope it doesn't continue to hurt as my love grows. I do know, unfortunately, what happens when your relationship doesn't work out. Each time your heart aches, the mark grows too hot to the touch and begins slowly spreading over your entire body. Feelings of joy related to your love reverse the effects. Figured as much, though it sounds horrible. I wonder if I'll be able to handle it. I'll become a huge burden on everyone in the guild if I react like that every time something bad happens. And just after finally getting to the point where I could start going outside again. I really want to go back to cleaning for other people in the city, but to do that, I need to feel happiness through love. That sounds awfully difficult. I have no idea where to start. All I can see is more suffering ahead. Maybe I should learn how to endure the pain. Hang on. If I do that, then, if my love is never returned, what happens to me? The mark will eventually cover your entire body and you'll die an agonizing death. Same pain, but over my entire body? I can't help but shudder at the thought. I remember the feeling of being unable to breathe earlier. If it got much worse than that, it's not hard to imagine death as a result. So the curse she told me about is true. Not that I ever doubted her, but it's different to experience it firsthand. Now that I'm aware of my love and the pain it causes, I understand. The more I suffer from lovesickness, the closer I get to death's doorstep. I'm scared. Really scared. I can't help but wonder why this curse exists at all. Clara and Candace seem to enjoy being in love, so why is it that only I have to suffer? But it's not their fault. That's right. It's no one's fault. I was just born with this illness. I'm not going to die anytime soon, which means I'm going to have to learn to live with the mark. I have no intention of giving up without a fight. I won't let you die, Miku. Not on my watch, she says, her voice quivering. Claire is scared too. That's right. She always worried about me more than everyone else. She always put me first, doing everything in her power to make sure I'm safe. The story we're in is completely different from the original plot. It never occurred to me that you might fall in love with Macro. So maybe there's a chance that you can change your fate. I've speedrun that game more times than I can count. If I can just remember Macro's route, I'm sure that you can two to get together. So please, she moans while holding her head in her hands. She's clearly not about to give up on me. I'm the one suffering because of her own feelings of love. My own feelings of love. And yet she still wants to help me in whatever way she can. I won't let you die. I promise you'll be happy, Miku. She turns to me before hugging me tightly. I can feel her pink hair and fluffy ears tickling my cheeks. It's evidence that her body is shaking, and the tension in my shoulders immediately drops as soon as I realize. There's something calmer about being next to someone who's scared on your behalf. For being cursed, I'm taking it pretty well. But I'm glad that Claire is still doing everything she can for me. She didn't try to deny my feelings, that I'm falling in love for the first time in my life. In fact, she promised to help me. Not only is that incredibly reassuring, but now I feel like I have to keep living for Claire's sake. I can't stay the same person as before. I have to grow. I'm not good at asserting myself, but I can't just follow Claire around doing everything she tells me to. I need to start acting on my own. Thank you, Claire. I won't give up. Miku. I make that vow to her as soon as I hug her back, just as tight. There, I say as I stroke her hair, and she immediately bursts into tears. But also, I want to cherish this feeling, my love for Macro. If Claire hadn't started sobbing like this, I'd probably still be afraid of the pain and suffering that awaits me. I would have bottled up my own emotions and never faced them. I might have died while keeping my own feelings locked up inside of me, but I have Claire by my side who would do anything to help me, which means I have to fight as hard as I can as well. Besides, being in love can be fun, right? Laura wouldn't smile so much about it otherwise. I don't want my love for Macro to be tainted by suffering. Not if I can help it. I must have fallen asleep at some point. By the time I wake up, the sky outside my window is dyed shades of sunset orange, deepening into midnight blue. Claire, who would have been next to me, is gone, meaning she's probably awake. Sigh. It was supposed to be a girls' night, but things got weird near the end. I ran out halfway through. I hope I didn't bother anyone. I wonder what happened after I left. Part of me wants to know, but I'm also afraid at the same time. It's probably time to start getting dinner ready. Wonder if anyone's here. Hector, Rinny, and Macro. It's going to be hard to face them. I sigh, squishing my cheeks with both hands. Huh? Are you awake, Miku? Laura? As I sit there, my head hung down, Laura suddenly calls out to me, apparently having snuck in without notice. Claire told me everything. That you suddenly weren't feeling well. Are you okay? Claire said that? Apparently her excuse worked. Claire covered up for me once again. The whole situation was pretty awkward, though, so I appreciate it. Smiling, I opened my mouth to answer her. I was able to get some sleep, and I feel fine now. I'm sorry for running off like that. Thank goodness. Don't you worry about it. You should always listen to your body when you're feeling ill. I come up with an answer that matches Claire's excuse, and Laura seems relieved when she hears I'm okay. She really is kind. But what I really want to know is what happened after I left. Should I ask her? I can tell you're curious about what happened after you left, huh? She must have been able to guess from my awkward fidgeting. Am I really that easy to read? Smiling brightly, she waves her hand in front of her as to say, it's no big deal. I got a bit too carried away, ended up apologizing to Candace afterward. I did point out that it's impossible to control who you fall in love with, though. Didn't you reassure me there's nothing to worry about? But it seems like everything's okay now. Candace declared that she'd never give up her fight over Hector, no matter what, but that it's better to have a fair rivalry that it's out in the open than to hide it in weird, uncomfortable ways. Her passion and go-get-em attitude is really admirable. Is this really the power of love at work? I have to do my best too. Oh, about what? You mean with your crush? Laura grins and paws me for more information when she sees me murmuring quietly to myself, my fist clenched in determination. I'm still pretty self-conscious about it, but it's too late to back down now. Yes, I won't fool myself into thinking my feelings mean something else, or that they're not real. Ooh! I'm scared, but I refuse to give up. For Claire and also for myself. I jump up from my bed, readjust my clothes, and then turn to face Laura. I'm not afraid of love. Yeah, well, good. She seems surprised at first, but after hearing my firm declaration, she laughs happily and clings to my arm. We'll fight for our love together, she answers. And with that, two of us head downstairs. I know Macro's down there, but will it be okay? It'll be just like always. The fun's just starting, what? She whispers under her breath as we climb down the stairs. The words don't seem strange in and of themselves, but her tone of voice sounds more mature than a moment before, causing me to glance over at her. Love is fun, right? Now we can talk about our love lives. That's all I meant. Okay, sure, I get it. The smile I catch on her face has an alluring lilt to it that makes her seem even more mature and quickly sucks up the joy I'd been feeling. I wonder why. She didn't say anything that weird, yet I feel oddly anxious for some reason. Miku, what's wrong? Just then, I feel the mark on my skin start to ache, and my face screws up in pain. Does the anxiety I'm feeling now count as anxiety caused by love? Ugh, this is hard. I need to calm down. Everything's okay. There's nothing to be worried about. I'm fine. She doesn't know about my situation, and I don't want to have to worry her. Laura seems to truly enjoy being in love, and I don't want to put a damper on that enjoyment. I'd feel awful if she couldn't have fun thanks to me. Yeah, tell me right away if you start to feel bad, okay? I mean, I'm your friend, right? She flashes me her usual bright smile and is instantly transformed back into the Laura I know as well. Seeing that innocent smile of hers fills me with a huge sigh of relief. I know that the more mature Laura is still a part of her, but I prefer this side better. Of course, thank you. I take the hand she offers, and the two of us continue going downstairs hand in hand. That's right, we are friends. There is nothing to be anxious about. I'm sure it was just my imagination. I'm sorry for letting my anxiety get the best of me. I apologize to myself, and it helps calm my racing heart. Once we reach the main room, I find my heart speeding up again, yet on noticing Macro straight away. Although Hector and Claire are the first to ask if I'm feeling okay, my eyes go straight for Macro. The moment I realize this, I'm so embarrassed that I want to run back into my room. But of course, I can't do that. Are you feeling better now? Yes, I'm fine now, Hector. Sorry for making you worry about me. Don't worry about that. Come sit down. We were just finishing getting dinner ready. Hearing those words, I gasp and look over at Hector and Claire. Claire must have taken care of dinner all by herself tonight. I thank her from the bottom of my heart, hoping my smile doesn't look awkward. It doesn't look awkward, right? I'm sure I look fine. Everything's okay. Huh? Where's Candace, Marino, and the others? Glancing around, I notice everyone's gone except Hector, Rini, Macro, and Claire. I soon learned that Marino said she had work to do and went home, while Angela, who was feeling out of sorts, went to the local tavern. Candace wanted to stay, but when Rini mentioned Kiefer would probably starve if she didn't get home, she reluctantly left. She did have a request on her way out, though, that we don't leave Hector and Laura alone. Sounds about right. Claire whispers that last bit of information in my ear. I giggle, easily picturing Candace saying that. Though, now I kind of understand her feelings a little bit better. All I can do is try and put myself in her shoes since I don't have a love rival, but if I did, I'd worry myself sick thinking about the two of them spending time together without me. It's easy enough for me to sympathize even if I'm not going through the same situation. The realization makes me feel kind of selfish. It's like I've noticed a bad part of myself and I don't like it at all. Sit down. Macro, okay. I could have stood there forever if Macro hadn't called out to me. Just his voice makes me feel really happy. I'm so easy to please, I guess, but where am I going to sit? There's an empty seat next to Macro, so I may as well sit there, right? He did tell me to sit down after all. Though I don't think he necessarily meant next to him. Oh gosh, I'm too nervous. Now that I know how I feel, I'm not sure my heart can handle sitting right next to him. Don't mind if I do. As I stand there agonizing what to do, Laura takes my seat. I feel both relieved and disappointed at the same time. No, it's not right, mainly just relief. I'm still too self-conscious to sit next to him. I take the empty chair across from them, trying not to show how flustered I am. Hey Macro, let's talk. That was when I hear Laura's cheerful voice. They're sitting right in front of me, so I have no choice but to look at them. That's right, I can't help listening in on their conversation when they're right there. Why? What do you mean, why? I want to know more about you. I want to be friends with everyone in the Planet Killer Guild. And I still haven't gotten a chance to talk to you with you yet. There's nothing I want you to know. Huh? That's harsh. She leans forward, practically looming over him as she continues to ask him questions. He's too close. I'm secondhand embarrassed. Love really is a disease, a serious one. You know, Miku told me the other day that no one ever sees how truly sweet you are. Is it true? I want to see for myself. Laura! Hearing her drop that bombshell, I feel all the fur on my body stand straight up in the air. Stop that. It's embarrassing. Hearing Laura's words, Macro glances over at me surprised. As soon as our eyes meet, my heart begins stammering wildly. She's exaggerating. No, I'm not. I truly feel that way. His expression and tone are unreadable as always, and yet I can tell he sounds slightly embarrassed. All the warmth in my body seems to shoot to my face, and I can find myself babbling something in response. Oh gosh. Just a simple look is enough to leave me frazzled, but at least I was able to say something. Macro really is very kind. I wasn't exaggerating. It's true, which is why I feel the way I do. Why I love blah. I see. I guess I'll have to keep an eye on you for a little longer. You're too close. Give me some space. I feel the mark begin to heat up, and the next thing I know, it feels like my chest is on fire as Laura sides closer to Macro. Huh? Why? I instinctively grab my chest and moan in pain. It hurts so bad. What's wrong? Macro! I guess it would be shocking to see someone bend over in pain right in front of you for no apparent reason. He jumps up from his chair and rushes to my side. Ugh, I feel so bad I can't control the pain. I just have to deal with it somehow. I had told myself that I'd handle it, so I can try and bear it for just a little bit longer. Miku! Claire! For her to suddenly be in pain and like this, she has to be sick with something. Macro, you're right, but it's a little complicated. Claire comes running over to my side next. I'm glad Claire figured out what's going on at least. She can cover for me. Miku, don't tell me. I'm really sorry, Hector, but all you have to do is put the food on the table. I'm going to take Miku back to her room. Oh, sure, I can handle that. After making it all the way downstairs, it looks like I'm going back to bed. After promising myself I was going to face him, I wish I could eat dinner with him. I feel a twinge in my eyes, but there's no way I'm going to let myself cry. I refuse. As I make my way back up the stairs to the second floor while leaning on Claire's support, I notice Macro sneaking glances at me. That alone seems to ease the pain a bit. I'll make you a plate and bring it up to you later. If they start doubting my excuse, I'll explain what's happening if I feel it's the right thing to do, on a need-to-know basis, of course. Okay, I trust you, Claire. But also, if you could let me know who you tell, that would be great. Of course. All right, then. I'll be back in a little bit, okay? By the time we get back to my room, the pain is mostly subsided. Still, Claire seems worried enough that she tells me to rest for the remainder of the night. I absolutely don't want to worry her again, but also I don't want to go back downstairs right now either. Though at the rate things are going, I'll end up being stuck in my room forever. If just seeing Macro makes me suffer, then maybe it's better I avoid him for now. Oh, I see. It's almost like the mark is telling me what I should and shouldn't do. So what am I supposed to do then, you stupid old cursed mark? As I lean against the windowsill, looking up into the night sky, I try to calm my racing thoughts. Maybe I should have never left my village. Thought makes my heart ache in a way that feels different from the pain from the mark. Alright, we're stopping here. Let's see. Finished up 3 chapters, which is my usual for a reading stream. And let's look at options. Let's look at options for raids.